Good day, class! Welcome to my video. This is Sharima Sambuyan, a third-year student from BSED Mathematics. Today's episode is discussing the legal basis of special and inclusive education. Our objectives for this lesson: at the end of the lesson, the student can discuss the legal basis of special education and inclusive education, explain the importance of legislation in the development of special education. The legal basis of special education in the Philippines are rooted in a series of laws and policies that aim to ensure equal access to quality education for all learners, including those with disabilities. These legal frameworks provide a comprehensive approach to addressing the unique needs of children with special needs, promoting their inclusion and maximizing their potential. The state should also take into account regional and sectoral needs and conditional and shall encourage local planning in the development of education policies and programs. Inclusive education, a fundamental principle in education, seeks to ensure that all learners, regardless of their abilities or disabilities, have access to quality education in a welcoming and supportive environment. Academic freedom should be enjoyed in all institutions of higher learning. Every citizen has a right to select a profession or course of study subject to fair, reasonable, and equitable admission and academic requirement. The state shall enhance the right of teachers to professional advancement. Non-teaching, academic, and non-academic personnel shall enjoy the protection of the state. The practice of inclusive and special needs education does not only include students with disabilities. Gifted and talented students are also included as one of its target populations. In our Article 14, Section 1 of the Philippine Constitution, state that the state shall protect and promote the right of citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make such education accessible to all. This provision is fundamental to the Philippine government's commitment to education as a cornerstone of national development. It emphasizes two aspects. Number one, the right to the quality of education, and two, accessibility of education. This means that every Filipino citizen has the right to access quality education regardless of their socioeconomic background, location, or any other factors. The term quality education implies that the education received should be effective, relevant, and meet the needs of the individual and society. Inaccessibility of education implies a proactive role for the state in providing resources, infrastructure, and policies to make the education attainable for everyone. The first legal basis of the care and protection of children with disabilities was enacted in 1935. Articles 365 and 259 of Commonwealth Act No. 3203 asserted that the right of every children to live in the atmosphere conducive to his physical, moral, and intellectual development, and the concomitant duty of the government to promote the full growth of the faculties of every child. Article 365 implied a responsibility for the government to create a supportive environment for children's well-being. Article 259 articles that outlined for the government's duty to promote the full growth of the faculties of every child. This meant that the government had a responsibility to ensure that all children, including those with disabilities, had access to opportunities that would allow them to reach their full potential. The Commonwealth Number Act of 3203 also emphasizes the rights and well-being of all children, including those with disabilities, set a crucial precedent of the development of more specific legal frameworks for special education in the Philippines. Republic Act No. 3562, an act to promote the education of the blind in the Philippines on June 21, 1963, provided for the formal training of special education teachers of blind children at the Philippine Normal College, the rehabilitation of the Philippine National School for Blind or PNSP, and the establishment of the Philippine Printing House for the Blind. It is a critical step in ensuring qualified personnel to cater to the unique needs of visually impaired students. It led to the establishment of the Philippine Printing House for the Blind, which aimed to provide accessible reading material and resources for the blind individuals. Republic Act No. 5250, an act establishing a 10-year teaching training program for teachers of special and exceptional children, was signed into law in 1968. The law provided for the formal training of teachers for deaf, hard of hearing, speech handicapped, socially and emotionally disturbed, mentally retarded, and mentally gifted children and youth at the Philippine Normal College and the University of the Philippines. The Act established a comprehensive tenure training program to equip teachers with the knowledge and competencies required for effective teaching in special education. The program aimed to integrate special and exceptional children into the regular school program through the establishment of pilot classes in regular schools. It also encouraged socialization and promoted the idea of conducting special education within the facilities of regular schools whenever possible. The 1973 Constitution of the Philippines, the fundamental law of the land, explicitly stated in Section 8, Article 15, the provision of a complete, adequate, and integrated system of education relevant to the goals of national development. The commitment to education as a primary concern of the government inherently includes exceptional children and youth, recognizing the right to quality education. The constitutional provision for the universality of educational opportunities and education of every citizen as a primary concern of the government clearly implies the inclusion of exceptional children and youth. It emphasizes that every educational opportunities should be accessible to all citizens, ensuring that no group is excluded. In 1975, Presidential Decree No. 603, otherwise known as the Child and Youth Welfare Code, was enacted. In Article 3 on the rights of the children provides, among others, that the emotionally disturbed, socially maladjusted child should be treated with sympathy and understanding and should be given the education and care required by his particular conditions. Equally important is Article 74, which provides for the creation of special classes. Thus, where needs warrant, there should be at least special classes in every province and, if possible, special schools for the physical handicapped, the mentally retarded, the emotionally disturbed, the mentally gifted. The private sector shall be given all the necessary inducement and encouragement. The Child and Youth Welfare Code established a framework for a more inclusive approach to child welfare, recognizing the youth needs and challenges faced by children with disabilities or special conditions. Article 3 of the Code, focusing on the rights of children, its provision recognizes the need for specialized educational programs to cater to diverse learning styles and abilities of children with disabilities. The Presidential Decree No. 1509, enacted in 1978, played a crucial role in establishing a dedicated government body to address the needs of disabled persons in the Philippines. Initially established as the National Commission Concerning Disabled Persons, or NCCDP, it was later renamed the National Council for the Welfare of Disabled Persons, or NCWDP. This renaming reflected a shift on emphasizing from simply concerning disabled persons to actively promoting their welfare and well-being. NCWDP ensured that disabled individuals had equal access to opportunities, services, and resources. The Education Act of 1982, or Batas Pambansa Bilang 232, states that the state shall promote the right of every individual to relevant quality education regardless of sex, age, breed, socioeconomic status, physical and mental condition, social and ethnic origin, political and other affiliation. The state shall therefore promote and maintain equality of access to education as well as enjoyment of the benefits of education by its entire citizen. The Education Act of 1982 articulate a clear vision for an inclusive education system that will ensure equal access to educational opportunities for all Filipinos. Section 24, Special Education Service of the same law affirms that the state further recognizes its responsibility to provide within the context of the formal education system services to meet special needs of the certain clientele. These specific types shall be guided by the basic policies of state embodied on general provision of this act, which include special education, the education of persons who are physically, emotionally, socially, culturally different from so-called normal individuals, that they require modification of school practices or services to develop their full maximum capacity. In 1983, Batas Pambansa Bilang 344 was enacted. enacted, the Accessibility Law, an act to enhance the mobility of disabled persons, required cars, buildings, institutions, establishments, and public utilities to install facilities and other devices for persons with disabilities. The Accessibility Law recognizes the importance of enabling disabled persons to participate fully in society, enjoy the same opportunities as other citizens, and live with dignity. The 1987 Constitution of the Philippine Cities, the right to exceptional children to education in Article 14, Section 1, declares that the state shall protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make such education accessible to all. And Section 2 emphasizes that states shall provide adult citizens, the disabled and out-of-school youth with training in civics, vocational efficiency, and other skills. The Constitution's emphasis on quality education signifies a commitment to providing education that is not only accessible but also a high standards. This means ensuring that educational programs are relevant to the needs of learners, that teachers are well trained and equipped to support diverse learners, and that learning environments are conducive to learning and development. In the Section 2 states commitments to ensuring that education is not a privilege but a fundamental right enjoyed by all Filipinos and that all Filipinos, regardless of their abilities or circumstances, deserve the opportunity to reach their full potential. Blind people use the cane in traveling. The Republic Act No. 6759, also known as the White Cane Act, was enacted in the Philippines on September 18, 1989. This law declared August 1st of each year as White Cane Safety Day with the aim of raising public awareness about the challenges faced by the blind people and promoting recognition and acceptance of the white cane as a symbol of their need for specific assistance. In 1992, the Republic Act No. 7610 was enacted. The law is an act providing for strong deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, providing penalties for its violation and other purposes. RS 7610 is a vital piece of legislation in the Philippines that demonstrates the country's commitment to protecting the rights and well-being of children. In the year 2000, Presidential Proclamation No. 361 set new dates for the National Disability Prevention and Rehabilitation Week celebration on the third week of July every year, which culminate the birth of Sublime Paralytic Apolinario Mabini. It was issued by the former President Joseph Estrada on August 19, 2000. The proclamation recognizes the importance of raising public awareness about disability issues and encouraging every citizen to actively participate in improving the economic and social conditions of persons with disabilities. The year 2004 ushered in the landmark legislation spearheaded by the Department of Health. The Republic Act No. 9288, otherwise known as the Newborn Screening Act of 2004, is based on the premises that a retarded child could have been normal. A drop of blood can save the baby from mental retardation and death. Newborn screening is the very simple test that should be given to the baby 24 hours after birth. The act aims to ensure that every newborn in the Philippines has the opportunity to undergo newborn screening regardless of their socioeconomic status or locations. The legal basis for special and inclusive education in the Philippines are a testament to the country's commitment to providing equitable access to quality education for all learners. These laws provide a framework for ensuring the rights, inclusion, and well-being of children with special needs, enabling them to reach their full potential and contribute meaningfully to society. And this is the end of my discussion for today's episode. I hope you understand very well about the legal basis of special and inclusive education. Hopefully, you gain new knowledge that later on in the future, it will benefit you as a future teacher. Again, this is Sharima Sambuyan. I wish you all for a good day.